Hey students, in this week's episode of The View, we have announcements, sports, and questions with Sebastian, and another segment on Junkworks. I'm Andrea, and The View starts now. On Friday, January 18th, the following students will be representing Mountain View at the state math competition with Mr. Jones: Adam Hordinez, Kyle Lowry, Andy Borst, Sham Taylor, Akash Sinha, Christian Espinoza, Bladen Lecluse, and Grant Bauman. Let's wish them all luck. Over the holidays, our chorus bears were featured on Fox 5. Here's a clip of their performance.
Throughout the next 3 hours from individuals, school choirs, and churches.
Yeah, speaking of which, here's Mountain View High School chorus singing Up on the Housetop.
Have you ever tried making a snack only to find your knives are all dull? No worries, here's a segment from Isaiah on how to sharpen your knives.
Hello, I'm Isaiah Lewis, and this is Essential Life Skills. Today I'll be teaching you how to sharpen a knife. From utility knife to kitchen knife, all are sharpened around the same angle of 17 to 25 degrees from the bevel, which is the center of the blade. Key sharpness of those style of knives. There are many different options sharpening your knives, from the whetstone to leather belts. And I'll start out today's video with the whetstone. This is the whetstone. The whetstone is more of a primitive, but probably one of the best ways to sharpen a blade. You start here with a smoother rock. This one is granite. It is smooth on one side, and you would apply honing oil, which I already have. You can see it's shiny and honing oil. You just put a few drops, like drop, 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 across, and then you take your knife and you would find your angle. I like to sharpen my knives around 17, just so that max sharpness, and then you would push it alongside the granite and just at that angle. And since this knife blade doesn't completely fit on it, you would just slide it up as you would go, and then as you push along the knife, and then after about 3 or 4 or 5 strokes, you flip the knife over and you repeat the process. Like that, and then you would push. You do this until you achieve about 5 or 6 rotations of just until you feel like you've sharpened your knife enough. Then you do a paper test. You take a piece of paper and just carefully stick the knife there, and if it's a clean cut, like so, then it's sharp. Second, we're going to do the wedge method. This is what you'd call angle sharpener. It requires, as you can see, 2 metal rods at an angle. It's already got your preset angles, and I don't remember the exact angle in which it sharpens at. But it makes your knives pretty sharp. So you start by putting your hand, holding it on the edge of a counter, like so. I don't have a spare hand, so I'm having my little brother help me with this one. And then you would take your knife, you would run it through here, just like 5 or 6 to 7 to 8 or 9 times, 10 times or so. And then you take your knife and proceed to try the paper test again. Third, we're going to do the professional option. This is a knife sharpening kit. It's basically another whetstone, but very much more precise. These numbers, this inner one is 17, this is 20, 25, and 30. 17 is what I like to sharpen my knives on, and you'd use honing oil, and you would put it along, you'd hold your honing oil out, and you'd put it along the whetstone, just a little bit, like so. You can barely tell I put any on, but there is on there. Then you'd pick up the knife, put it through the hole you'd want, and just kind of do the same way you would the other one, and just do it like 7 or 8 to 10 times on one side, and go to the other side and just like move it way up. And this is more precise because you can go from sharpening with a coarse thing, a coarse wet bit, to even a whetstone, to even a mild one, or even a honing little thing. So yeah, then after you do that 5 or 6 times back and forth, then you'd have to unscrew that, screw it back together, and test the sharpness of your knife using the paper test. And then for the final one, we're going to do the leather belt. So the leather belt is a last effort to sharpen your knives. I wouldn't recommend it unless like you're in a total need of sharpening knives. But to sharpen knives with a leather belt, you'd find your angle, 17 to 25 degrees, and run it the blade against the belt like so. Then you do that 5 or 6 times. Then you'd flip the knife over and do the same. Just back. You can even do it like this. And just make sure you cover the entirety of the knife. And like I said, this is definitely last ditch. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I have my leather belt, my pocket knife, and that's got to make do because it's slow and tedious, but it will put a nice edge on your knife. And you test the sharpness of the knife with, again, the paper test. That's it for essential life skills on how to sharpen knives. Remember, kids, knives are dangerous and can hurt you. Be safe. Be responsible. Be careful.
Now, let's go to John for this week's segment on Junkworks.
Hi, I'm John and that's Zane, and today on Junkworks we're going to show you how to replace a flat tire safely and properly. I'm going to start by showing you all the tools that you're going to need to replace your flat tire. Let's start off with the breaker bar. The breaker bar loosens the lug nuts on your wheel with the extension and the socket. Once you've done that, you can lift the car up using a jack. you want to put the jack under an axle so you can safely lift it up. And once you do that, you're going to use a jack stand and place it under the axle to be extra safe and secure. For the first step, I'm going to put the breaker bar onto the lug nut so that I can loosen all of them. And what you want to do, depending on the vehicle you have, you usually want to go counterclockwise so you can loosen them. And then I'm going to do that for each one, and then I'm going to pick up the car. Let's go do that. Step 2, lifting up the vehicle. Let's start by putting the jack under the axle. And we're going to lift it up until we have enough clearance so we can remove the tire. And then once we do that, we're going to put a jack stand on the axle for safety, because safety is very key in this. I'm going to put the jack stand under the axle for safety now. I guess that's as far as it'll go. All right. Now I'm gonna loosen the lug nuts with this breaker bar, one by one, so I can take off the wheel. And one trick that you can use is, if it's loose enough, you can roll it like this so that it comes off quicker. Now that I've removed all of the lug nuts, I'm going to take the wheel off and set it to the side where I can put the replacement wheel on. Or in other words, the spare. Now that I've removed the flat tire, I'm going to have my assistant Zane bring me the new one. Thank you, Constable. Now, me and my assistant are going to put on this tire. Thank you, Zane. I'm going to put on all the lug nuts. I'm going to tighten them in a star pattern so that it distributes evenly, the tightness. So, I'm putting them on in the star pattern, like I said, so that it tightens evenly all around. I'm going to only do finger tight for right now, and come back with my tool so I can tighten it all the way and lower it, and then tighten it again. Now I'm going to tighten it a little bit with my tool, just to make sure it stays on. Now I'm going to lower it, we're going to tighten it, and we're done. Finally, I'm going to tighten them in a star pattern one last time, so it's completely tightened and safe. In summary, we've replaced a flat tire safely so we can go on the road once more. Join me next time, where I do brakes, probably in the rain again.
In sports, the swim team will have a meet this Saturday at 8 a.m. against Tequila. Come out and support our Bears. Basketball season is upon us. You can support our varsity boys at their next game today at 7:30 p.m. at home against Discovery. Join us at the Buford Chipotle this Saturday for a fundraiser to support Mountain View Miracle. Be sure to tell the cashier you're with Mountain View High School, as 33% of the proceeds will go to Mountain View Miracle and the Children's Hospital of Atlanta Foundation. This week, we took a visit to the lunchroom to find out what our Bears know. Let's see what we found out.
Hey there, Bear Time. Today we're talking about people's New Year's resolutions. Let's go see what they say. What is your New Year's resolution for this year?
To actually start an animation channel.
Oh, really? That's really cool. What are you going to name it?
K is for anime.
What is your New Year's resolution for this year?
My New Year's resolution is to, make more friends and not be so antisocial, just be outgoing.
What is your New Year's resolution for 2019?
I really don't have one, but I don't want to catch feelings.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions for 2019?
No, I do not.
Thank you. What is your New Year's resolutions for 2019?
Well, for one, I definitely want to finish out high school strong. It's my last semester. So,
Preach.
yeah. And for two, I want to focus more on drawing portraits this year.
Do you have any resolutions, any goals for this year?
Very simple. Clean living.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions for 2019?
Actually, yes, I do.
What is your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution is to be in more shows in the theater program here. Join the theater program.
Thank you. Please follow his instructions. Have you made any New Year's resolutions?
Yes, I have. Mine's to do good and get myself a car so I can drive.
That's good. That's good. That sounds like a really good resolution. Hopefully, you get that.
I hope so too.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day. All right, bud. I have a question for you. What is your New Year's resolution for 2019?
I don't have a New Year's resolution.
Thank you. What is your New Year's resolution for 2019?
My New Year's resolution is to be nicer to people.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions or goals?
Probably to just keep changing throughout the year.
That's the best one we've heard. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank God I don't have any money because I am on a diet. Thank you, Bear News.
Our school maintains a dress code policy in order to ensure every student can perform his or her best in a professional manner. Let's go to Ms. Valerie Ruiz, our dress code administrator.
So I'll be responsible this year for dress code. Let's talk a little bit more about that in depth. So from day one, it's important that you're following all the rules and guidelines that are in your student handbook. Let's talk about headwear first. No hats, no scarves, no hoods in the building. Absolutely none. Now, ladies, I know that there are those mornings where you get up and the hair is just not right. I get that and I understand. And we're going to work around that and we're going to work with you. So in terms of head coverings, headbands are okay. About 1 inch in diameter around the head or around the temple area, that would be perfect. But the crown of your head must be exposed. And the reasons for this, ladies and gentlemen, is because we want you to be safe. In the event that we have an issue or a challenge here at school, we need to be able to identify those people that are not following the dress code. More than likely, that allows us to point out an intruder a lot more easier. And it allows us to identify people by their face because there is no visors or hoodies or anything that's covering them. So that's the reason for that. So work with us. Comply with your teachers when they ask you to remove the hoods in the classroom, in the building, or the headscarves. We will have some individuals that will assist you in the attendance office if need be. We want you to feel your best. We certainly want you to look your best. So just trust us on this. We're here to work with you. Let's go a little bit more into what it looks like in terms of ripped jeans, leggings, tights, those kind of things. So with the leggings, you must make sure that the front and the back areas, private areas, are covered, fully covered. Without that being in place, you are in dress code violation. Ripped jeans. We're going to follow the old agenda rule, so your agenda books would be that measure, but since we don't have agenda books this year, we're following the 8-inch below the knee and up. If you are wearing ripped jeans, please make sure to have some type of leggings or tights underneath where the skin is not showing and visible. If you don't have that done, we will also assist you. We have some sweatpants in the attendance office that you will look fabulous in. But to avoid all of that, we want you to be able to be sure that you are just following the dress code rules from the start. Parents are not allowed to drop off anything to you because we want to get you back in class as soon as possible without missing instruction and delaying that. So we will have those things provided for you. Gentlemen, please make sure that no underwear is showing. We don't want to see any underwear showing, so make sure you pull your pants up. It's just a way to look your best. There's no need for you to wear a suit and a tie. We're not saying to dress in that manner, but you can still be fashionable and appropriate all at the same time. We don't want to wear any bandanas and anything that will kind of associate you with any affiliations or organizations. Let's go into shoes. Ladies, leave the pajama or bedroom slippers at home. We don't want blankets, pajama pants, pillows. That's just not appropriate for you to be seen out in public with those things. So let's leave those. In the mornings, you'll see myself and Miss Vicki Hobbs, and we'll be doing those roundups. So if we ask you to come with us, please know that we just want to get you back to class. We don't want you to be a distraction, but just comply, and we'll get you back into instruction as soon as possible. And that's pretty much what I have for dress code. Remember, shoulders, no bralettes, the midriffs. If you know that it violates dress codes, you have a jacket, please wear that jacket. Teachers, let's be consistent in our message with our students. If you see it, please make sure that that student puts that jacket on, takes that head covering on, that we are a united front, and that we are dressed for success here at Mountain View. Thank you, guys. I look forward to speaking with you, seeing you in the hallways, having conversations, but most importantly, I want you to look and feel your best.
Well, Bears, that concludes this week's episode of The View. Thanks so much for watching, and tune in again next week. As you go about your day, always remember, life is like a stage and someone is always watching. Stay excellent, Mountain View.